The Bephanse.
The Bephanse Monthly.
Brought to you by
Bephanse.
In this week's episode, we discuss the nuances of the 89th Academy Awards. So I was thinking that it was time we did a current event story, really kind of dive into what the hot topics are. So I was thinking that we'd either cover the Oscars or the Rio Olympics. But then as I was thinking, I guess at this point, Rio, it's been almost a year or so.
I agree. And I also think that the Rio Olympics was a really shitty topic for us to discuss. So it would be better to go with the Oscars.
I would say it'd be the shittiest of topics, but we've actually covered some pretty shitty topics already. So
Yeah, that's true.
We tend to gravitate towards the shitty type of content here on the BM. I don't know why exactly, but...
So did anybody watch the Academy Awards? Phil, Jared, Sarah?
I watched briefly. My roommate Mark had the TV on, was watching, and I was paying attention briefly here and there.
Jared?
Midway through, I started trying to watch it, and it turned out to be this really boring documentary type thing, interviewing people about their opinions on movies, and it was pre-filmed, and I was like, this isn't interesting, so I turned it off. I was not impressed.
And I was, I had it on in the background, but was working. So I every once in a while would kind of look over and see what was happening. So it sounds like really we're more or less experts on all of this. So I'm sure our listener is dying to hear our uneducated and ill-informed thoughts on the event of the year for Hollywood. So has anybody seen any of those movies or even heard of most of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture or Actor, Actress?
Well, one that I haven't heard of is Moonlight. I hear that it won for Best Picture?
After Snafu, but yeah.
I have not heard of it, though.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it either before they were announced. But I did see The Arrival and Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures was pretty good. That was pretty enjoyable.
Were you able to find it, or was it hard to... Were they too hidden?
Were they hidden? No, I went to one of the independent movie theaters in town to watch it.
Oh, look at you, Phil, being kind of artsy there.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw La La Land as well.
What did you think of that one?
I did not like that one.
But you mean to tell me that you didn't like singing?
Not in that movie. Emma Stone is not a singer.
Yeah, but Ryan Gosling is pretty.
Dreamy.
This is true.
Well, obviously the big hullabaloo was over the Best Picture, where I think PricewaterhouseCoopers really kind of shit the bed on that one. There was a snafu for our listener, in case you didn't watch, on social media. Don't watch regular media.
Don't have any friends or human contact who could inform you.
And let's be honest, if you're our listener, that could be the case.
In which case, you're a target demographic. I think it's safe to say that PricewaterhouseCoopers, you really can't account on them.
Oh, they really dropped the ball on that one.
I'm sure this whole thing hasn't been very taxing on their leadership.
So again, for our listener, what happened is Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were the presenters, but apparently they handed them an envelope that was for the Best Actress, which went to Emma Stone and had just been announced. And so when Warren Beatty tried to read the winner and pulls out the envelope, it said Emma Stone for La La Land. And so you could tell, he goes and tries to see if there's another card in the envelope. And so he's kind of pausing, and Faye thinks that he's essentially, just trying to build up suspense. And she's like, quit, joking around or whatever. But then for some reason she sees Emma Stone's name on there from La La Land, and then just says La La Land. So then La La Land goes up there, three of the producers start giving their speeches, and then at that point, there's people on stage who are trying to say, wait a minute, we actually got this wrong. But that PwC, the Matt Damon lookalike, apparently had given the wrong card, and also then during that time, instead of realizing what was happening, was tweeting a picture of Emma Stone. So,
oh my God, you're kidding.
He was taking a selfie with him and Emma Stone and was tweeting that out instead of rectifying the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know about them. I would have just rolled with it. I would have just been like, okay, yep, it was La La Land, move forward, cover it up, steamroll ahead.
Here's the first movie about African Americans from African Americans. Let's just sweep this one to the side.
Under the rug.
Oscars still so white.
It was, watching that moment. So I was watching the Oscars at Grossbank's house. Grossbanks is a friend of mine. And that moment was just vibrantly awkward. It was prime Bephanse material. It was so amazing to watch it because everyone was scrambling on stage. It's like you didn't know what was happening. The whole room I was in, we were screaming. We were like, what is going on? It kind of felt like two universes collided or something.
Like Bephanse's universe collided with the actual universe.
Yes, we are living in Bephanse's universe now. We've made it, you guys. Congratulations.
Mazel tov.
And this wouldn't be the first time that our universe has collided with the Hollywood universe. For example, I believe on The Price is Right pilgrimage trip number 1, we went to Hollywood and saw Snakes on a Plane when it had just come out and was the biggest movie in all of the world, asterisk.
Snakes.
At the Mann's Chinese Phil Theater. And
Hey.
And I have to say, it was pretty cool to be at where they used to at least film the Academy Awards to watch Samuel Jackson talk about some
motherfucking snakes.
MFing snakes on MFing planes.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when you were on that trip? I had Samuel L. Jackson automated call you. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yes.
There was some gimmick when the movie was released where you could have him, you would punch in like a name and then it's his automated call. And it's like, I'm Samuel L. Jackson. And he would do the Snakes on a Plane bit. And I had him call all you guys.
Right. And you could like pick a couple key things like, what do they care about? Their clothes, their like hair, their whatever.
Yeah.
And so you could like quasi customize it. I think it was one of the better like marketing campaigns that I can think of.
It created a nice buzz. And I think it's something that Bephanse should really take advantage of.
Yes.
Perhaps when we're marketing the BM.
We love taking advantage of things when they're buzzed.
We do. Asterisk. So, should we introduce our guest, our very special guest?
Yes, today we have our special guest, Ann Kashnikow Kristek, an honorary member of Bephanse and part of the Spouses of Bephanse Social Club.
Woo!
Yay!
So, welcome, Ann.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Ann.
I didn't realize there was a social club I was a part of.
You're the president. No pressure.
Oh, even better.
It's a burgeoning club.
So, Ann, why don't you tell our listener a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So, I am Matt's wife.
Him?
We've been married for, I don't know, about 10 months.
Woo!
Yep,
Congratulations.
I am originally from the Washington, D.C. area, but now reside in Atlanta.
The other Washington.
The lesser Washington.
Well, I think that would be debatable, but...
Ooh.
Future topic right there.
Would you say that Atlanta is the Washington, D.C. of the South?
I would say it's the biggest city in the South. I don't know if it quite has the culture and history as D.C. does.
I see.
Did you watch the Oscars, Ann?
I watched the opening with Justin Timberlake, and then my attention was diverted to some other TV shows. So I did not watch anything past that.
Then you're a perfect guest for this week's podcast.
And was there something like another big programming or show, something big on Sunday night that you were watching?
Well, it was a combination between Fixer Upper on HGTV, which is always good TV, and there was a Law and Order SVU marathon on, all of them featuring teen heartthrobs such as James Vanderbeek. So I was really torn between those two shows. So between those two, I just didn't have time for the Oscars.
What a tough call. I mean, I would almost want to 2-screen that myself.
I would agree that would have been ideal. Matt, I think we just have our next house project.
Thanks, Jared.
What is your first next house project?
Well, we have a patio that is sloping and is crumbling, so we need to get that completely torn up and redone.
I know a good plastic surgeon that can help you with that.
But while your attention was split between HGTV and Law and Order SVU, were you at least keeping up with what was happening with the Academy Awards through Twitter or anything like that?
Most of what I'm more interested in is like the gossip behind, like who was Ryan Gosling's date.
Who was his date?
It was his sister.
Oh, that's sweet. And Emma Stone brought her brother. That's really cute.
Yes, apparently that's the thing to do these days is bring family members.
Incest in Bephanse and Hollywood.
Bephanse's world collides with Hollywood yet again.
Now, obviously, I'm sure you heard about the terrible, terrible mix-up at the end that just really ruined a great night otherwise.
It impacted me personally, that's for sure.
I think a lot of people missed work the next day. Were so distraught about that mix-up. What do you think is a fair punishment for those responsible, primarily PwC, but also Faye and Warren as well, I think.
Well, I don't know that Warren really did anything. I mean, I feel like he tried to help. Faye just was clueless, and then she just disappeared.
Yeah, they're just the messengers. You can't shoot the messenger.
Yes, you can. In fact, I think we should. Let's shoot. Let's shoot them.
Shoot them in the face. Shoot them
Asterisk.
nice.
Asterisk. Jesus.
Get our lawyer on the phone.
On the 90th Academy Awards, we hand out punishment to Faye, Warren, and PwC. Oh, I could see that next year. That could be a good show.
Could be, yeah.
It wouldn't. And I know you recently visited Hollywood, right?
I did. That's correct. About 10 months ago.
How much worse was it than you expected?
I think you phrased it accurately. I don't know. You expect more, and it was kind of just, I don't know. I just was not very impressed, I guess. It just kind of seemed
Blasé.
right in the middle. Yeah.
Can we edit this sound bit to be Anne talking about this podcast?
Fake. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
Just a lot of really orange people.
Wait, and did you visit the Chinese theater?
We did. By visit, I think we looked at it from the outside. I don't think we actually went in. So I think that was enough. I'm not very big into like museums or really historical things. I just like to look and move on. So that was good enough for me.
Did you see Phil at the Chinese theater?
No. Matt did tell me that maybe we could see a sighting, but we did not.
That's too bad.
That's strange.
So, I mean, just this whole idea of an award show thrown by Hollywood for Hollywood really makes me think that Bephanse should be throwing an awards show for Bephanse. And how excited would you be to attend a Bephanse award show?
I think I would be interested more because I would expect it, and I say this out of the kindness, and all good intentions of my heart. It would be a bit of a shit show, I think.
Oh my
It would
God.
be the biggest shit show.
But I think it would be enjoyable.
Oh my God.
Yes, I think that's
Well,
fair.
this is an interesting point because we've discussed previously the idea of having a Bephanse siblings night, or perhaps a Bephanse spouses and siblings and relatives night, where we bring everyone together at a banquet with a plated dinner and, a keynote speaker and several guests and awards. And I think it sounds like it could be really nice.
What are some of the awards we'd give out? What are the categories?
Most likely to
End up in white-collar prison?
Jared.
Most likely to get a nasty cocaine habit?
Jared.
Also Jared.
least likely to
Least likely to kick their cocaine habit? Also Jared.
I think this could be a roast of Jared, too, if we wanted to.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I feel like I'm in the Matrix and I'm actually in said banquet right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I think this is great. I think we should add that to our list of Bephanse initiatives to tackle for the future.
Comma, lists that will actually get done.
That won't fail.
Comma, things that definitely won't fail.
Agree.
All right. Well, Anne, thank you for joining and providing kind of the insight of, what was happening from a social media perspective. And so I guess kind of in summary, I think the 2017 Bephanse Award Show will be the biggest spectacular failure of the year. So definitely something to look forward to our listener.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, thank you, Ann.
Yes, thank you for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye.
Sarah, she could not be, she could not end that call any sooner.
Any quicker.
Did I just hear the door slam? Did she put the phone up to the door just to slam it so we could hear it?
Okay. Sarah, would you like to close with a news segment?
Sure would. From the Huffington Post, so you know it's real news. If Hollywood is looking for a Snakes on a Plane sequel, this could be it. Recently, passengers on a British Airways flight were forced to endure a 4-hour delay after a mouse was discovered on a San Francisco-bound airplane. The crew told travelers that they could not take off from the Heathrow airport with the critter on board. Travelers did their best not to feel so trapped by the mouse. Oh, news. Have a wonderful day.
Asterisk 1, Snakes on a Plane was only the 93rd largest movie of 2006.
Asterisk 2, no asterisk needed.
Asterisk 3, we in no way intend to shoot anyone in the face.
Bephanse, having opinions we know nothing about since 2003.